Can you make a film without a script, without dialogue, to make something that has a story but no script? Is that possible? I had wondered about this, and I had seen, other filmmakers and people that I really admired who had taken this approach where you might have like a concept or a theme or whatever that you're working around, but you don't really have like a specific script and it's more improvised. And I had always wanted to try this, and I had written a bunch of like kind of treatments and little ideas and stuff like that might be fun to develop. Nothing really ever went anywhere, and I was always a little nervous to commit and put funds into something that was so kind of unusual. But last year, at the end of a cycle of projects that I had been making that I had been trying to get grant funding for. At the end of that, I hadn't gotten any of the grants. So I was like, I'm just gonna do something experimental and different. And that is something I've talked about on this channel before. It's the Wilted Flower, which is a new short kind of film. It's part of a series that I'm doing, but it's also running on its own right now at the Music Box in March. I've been kind of cooking this thing up, and the results were unusual and interesting. So let's talk about it. If you're new here, my name is Remzi Atassi. I'm a filmmaker based in Chicago. I make videos about the art, science, and business of technology and creativity and filmmaking. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I also run a bi-weekly newsletter called The Film Life. You can sign up in the description. And of course, if you like the video or you want to see more like this, please subscribe. The truth is, everything I had done before was quite scripted, and when I'm working with actors, like, it's always kind of in a certain sandbox. In this case, the actors were interested in trying something different, and I think I realized that actors actually love this because really they want to be able to write their own lines and make their own characters and come up with their own stuff. And so what I had thought was going to be like more of a truly improvised thing in the moment actually ended up being more like the actors became writers who were collaborating to the film. As a writer, you think about things through the lens of, the characters and the backstories and whatnot. But also you're kind of focused on the end goal, or you're focused on the story. And actors traditionally they're going to develop more of the interiority and the kind of like sense memory that goes with the characters. So it was interesting to see them have more responsibility for pushing the story through. And in some ways, this film idea I had was it was experimental to begin with. It was pretty abstract. So when I brought them in, they actually grounded it in a way, and their sort of intuition and way that they approached things made the world feel more real and lived in, which, despite the beats of the story being still pretty abstract, and I would still classify this as basically an experimental film, it was cool to see how they brought more reality and lived experience to it. I've always kind of stuck to the script, and you try to put the subtext into writing and you let actors do their thing and they bring it to it. But this is a much more intuitive and like emotional way, I think, that you can tell a story. So I found that really interesting, and yeah, the end result was great. From a shot selection standpoint, we still kind of I would break the scenes down into pieces. So I would be like, we're going to kind of do these setups at these different beats, and then we would just let them run with it. Instead of having the story come from the words, you have to think about it from the scenarios. So it makes you zoom out even on another level and really think about kind of, what are you trying to say? By giving that sort of responsibility to the actors, I kind of turned myself more on focusing of the sort of the color, the design, like using the art direction to sort of be the emotional center of the film. One thing that was different in doing it this way was we had to do it with multiple cameras because you didn't know what you were going to get. And usually for something like a drama, I would just shoot it with one camera. So that was different. And it made the editing at times a little more tricky, and maybe some of those scenes feel like less intentional or naturalistic. But I definitely think it was interesting. And all the people who were working on it, they kind of wondered, like, is the story actually going to come through? And for the folks who have seen it, I think that they're shocked at how much it does, because those actors, they really brought something to it through the improvisation. And I think when you're working with any kind of collaborators, you've got to try and make an effort to bring in people who you can trust. With actors, you're working oftentimes bringing people in and you don't know them or have any relationship with them. So it's hard to build that relationship fast, especially for like a short project where you're just going to be with them for a few days. So I think giving them the added responsibility, something they were excited to do, made them feel, and it is a little weird, so I think they were intrigued by what we were gonna kind of try and create, and that made it just that much more interesting and fun to explore the stuff. So I think it really helped contribute to the film. I'm excited with how it turned out. I'm surprised that I'm excited about it, because I kind of had no idea how it was gonna, what the end product was gonna be. The funny thing is that by taking the effort to just get this up and running, I actually got a grant for the next project while we were doing it. So the next thing that I'm shooting is a little more scripted, and that's gonna be shooting in April. It's gonna be part of this kind of overall project that I'm working on. They're all around the idea of inheritance. This one is as well. So it's called the Wilted Flower. You know, there's a trailer that's up now you can go and check out. If you're in Chicago, there's a screening in March. Maybe we'll do a few more. Ultimately, I'm extremely happy with how this turned out, and I enjoyed the experiment. So I would recommend it if you want to try and change things up, if you're working on a small project. I think something small and bite-sized like this is a great way to do it. You always want to try and find new ways to inspire yourself and be creative. I also took the opportunity when I was working on it to build a look for this film, and I've packaged up a few different looks. A few of them are inspired by film stocks, and some of them are by kind of films that I love. I'm giving those away for free. They're linked in the description if you want to check them out. I've also got some of my old films, Blu-rays. If you want to support me, you can go and buy those on my website. That's the best way to do it. Hope you found this interesting, maybe something that you can use in your own projects going forward. And if you like this video or you want to see more like it, please subscribe.